Ian Curtis was a very important cultural and musical figure because he created his own thing. The way he danced on stage, the way he delivered his lyrics and vocals, it was a real groundbreaking sort of idea, and I think it empowered a lot of people to be like, I can do this too. And he tread a very fine line on like being very controversial, and I also think they took a really negative name with negative connotations and sort of almost banished the idea of it to the point where most people think of a band now, and that I see that as a positive light, not to forget the bad things that happen, but turn it into positivity. That's probably one of the biggest things that man has done for the world.
Well, it's not quite as big in America as it should be. I mean, everyone who's smart knows about it, but it's not pop culture, which it should be, because that sound invented what a lot of pop radio rips off now. Joy Division and a lot of what even like stuff I mentioned before, like Yazoo and Erasure and those, that kind of synth sound is the backbone of pop radio. It just doesn't sound as good.
I love digital. I love a lot of Joy Division, almost all of it. That one's got a particular kind of relentless energy to it, though. No pun intended.
What's your least favourite, Des?
For Joy Division, I think it's quite upbeat. It's really, I mean, you can dance to all their music, which is what makes it great. Certainly, the Unknown Pleasures period. But it's got a funky, jazzy bass line. It's quite silly. It's very appealing, and the drums sound amazing, and Ian is amazing on it, and yeah, it's got all the great qualities that loads of great Joy Division songs have.
I think with Joy Division, for me, it wasn't just about him. It was about the band and what everybody brought to that, and the backdrop of and Manchester at the time, and also the production. Something that I'm a bit of a nerd when it comes to production stories. So there was that thing about the way they got a certain drum sound by putting a drum kit on a roof or something, and then a bit like Joe Meek, sort of like someone's flat and you just kind of like that's the kind of thing we do. Just if we can get a good drum sound by someone sitting in the bath with a snare, those are the things that excite me. And I remember listening to the Joy Division Peel sessions for the first time and just being mesmerised by making drum machines gothic, which was quite interesting to me, because drum machines had always been so kind of dance music, and then they'd slowed them right down and made them really gothic and dirty and moody, and I think that's had a huge impact on music since, is using drum machines in that way.
Joy Division's production changed the way that I wrote and produced songs. The idea that the songs could have this rolling feel and just sort of exist on a plane, didn't have to be verse, chorus, and I just am still obsessed with that. I mean, that was the first time I really heard an ARP synth, which isn't on every Bleacher song ever.
Seeing the film just a few years ago and then coming home and writing a song which appeared on the first record that was just me thinking about that film and what I'd just seen and the sort of sweaty club nights they reenacted and the sound of that bass, and I wrote a bass sort of led tune literally off the back of that. So the there's a direct influence. That was Quirty Finger was the song, but direct influence there. But before that, further back than that, you can't really avoid it. I think if you're semi-serious about music, you probably know them and you probably love them. So yeah, they're a very influential band.
Love Will Tear Us Apart is, of course, you can't overlook that, can you? I mean, I think in a way that was their sort of crowning achievement, was that they were a punk band, but they had this perfect pop moment. When they had a single, then they were always going to live forever from that point, I think.